Are we recording? I think we are. Hi, everyone. It's Lisa Loring, and I haven't been on in, well, I guess it was probably late last summer. It's nice to be back. Got some stuff going on. We won't go into that. But what we will get into is the tarot. And I actually just decided tonight, as I do always kind of on the fly, to do a tarot reading again on video. I haven't done one in a really long time, like I said. So, because I did it on the fly, I um, pulled the cards already and I was playing with them and I was like, I guess I would like to do this on video, which I haven't done for a really long time, like I said. Anyway, so the cards that came out for tomorrow, I just for if you ever want to know how you pull, what a lot of tarot readers do to pull tarot, is actually I just asked for what the energy is, and for what I did for the reading was to ask for what the energy is for Friday, May 28th. So I just have my famous Waterloo. Um, so I pulled the cards, and I'm using the Wild Unknown Tarot by Kim Kranz. It's a really good deck. So the cards that came out, I'm going to show them to you. I'll angle it down here. Again, this is for Friday, um, May 28th. So the first card that came up is, and I'm going to actually move the light around a little bit so that way the video is, there we go, so you can see them a little better. So the Son of Cups came up, which is the equivalent of the Knight of Cups in the traditional tarot. The central card of the reading that came out was the Five of Wands, and then the Father of Wands was the final card that came out. And then at the bottom of the deck, the top two cards were the Four of Wands and the Two of Wands. We had a lot of wands, actually a lot of wands that came out. And in the tarot, the suit of wands is basically what you're passionate about, things of the heart, not necessarily like emotions like you see in the cups, but things of the heart like career, things that, motivating kinds of things, motivating aspects in your life, things that, yes, hold value, not in the same way that the pentacles do, not material value or things, so to speak, but your passions, your drives, your motivations, what you're fired up about. It's basically the suit of fire. So what you're fired up about, things, where you want to focus your intentions, your drive, how you express yourself, that kind of thing. Whereas the suit of cups is more about your emotional life, love, that kind of, aspect of passion. But the suit of wands is more about the things that, like I said, you're fired up about, things that you hold dear, your values, that kind of thing. So what I'm reading here is, first and foremost, the Son of Cups is indicative of the Knight. It's always someone who, an energy or someone who is involved in a situation, who doesn't have necessarily a lot of control over their emotions. So if you're a Knight, your motivating factor, you're driven and you're going to do some kind of action based upon your emotions. And you can see he's got a lot of explosive stuff happening in that chalice. So it's in the Son of Cups is someone who would be, here today, gone tomorrow, based on their emotions, and also isn't someone who could articulate their emotions very well or have control over them. When I looked at this card, what I saw was, if you notice in the cup itself, it's almost like indescribable writing around the chalice part itself. And the chalice is outside of the, it's really not being held close to the swan here. So it shows that, this is someone who not only isn't necessarily connected very well to their emotions either, hence probably the explosive nature of what's going on, or, the situation, there's a disconnect going on there. They may not be able to articulate their feelings. Again, that indescribable writing around the chalice shows that, it's not quite legible, and somebody who can't really articulate what they're feeling very well. And this, a swan to me is always, you consider a swan as one of those creatures of the animal kingdom who, that tends to be always find like a mate for life. This one seems a little cold and distant and doesn't seem to even know what it wants in terms of what it's looking for that would, balance out the emotions. That was another thing that I considered when I looked at that card. So there's this component, I think, in tomorrow where we may not have necessarily control over our emotions. We may feel disconnected from them, and you just may not know what you want, and the emotions may feel like they're swaying you from side to side a little bit or distracting you. Definitely a distracting kind of component. However, and but the central card of the reading is the Five of Wands, and in this card I see, this the wands as opposed to the Five of Swords. The swords are definitely, their thoughts. They're very. The swords are going to hurt if you think compared to kind of like in the traditional tarot, the wands are. You'll see it depicted as like boys at play with a bunch of wands, like wooden swords compared to like real swords, which is what you see in the Five of Swords. You see people with, real swords attacking one another. There's definitely a different vibe to that. With this, not only are they, wooden playthings, they're not even actually landing on one another. They're disparate. They're all over the place, which, again, is kind of, supported by this card too, like something, it's all over the place. But you also have to consider there's more of a playful sort of feeling to this. It's kind of, it's nothing to be taken too seriously, in other words. So you can, either let all of these kinds of explosive things and just, be and all over the place emotions be what distracts, or you can just kind of like not really take it at face value and let things kind of, be whatever they are, and not get too invested in any of it, because none of it's really landing, none of it's connecting to one another, and again, it's disconnected. So until we finally kind of connect, and try to pull in the emotions, if we pull our emotions in and, connect them to to drive, if we, kind of get rid of the distractions, pull it together, we can end up here, which is the king, essentially the King of Wands. And in this card, although, you have a snake, which looks pretty fearful, like, you're actually pretty formidable when you can get out of your own way. That's essentially what we're looking at here. So instead of being so invested in distraction of the emotions and being mired down by not knowing what the heck it is that we want to do, which can, make anyone agitated and set somebody off, and super distracted in kind of like this weird labyrinth, you can use your abilities to, be in leadership, be this father, be this king of your passions by investing in knowing what your heart wants, like listening to your heart. So instead of being disconnected from your feelings, come in, listen to your feelings, listen to your heart, listen to where you really want to go. And in that, you're going to get, divine inspiration. There's this, this lightning bolt coming in, right? And he's also very, in that way, you're actually protective of the things that you desire, protective of the direction. And you're also choosing one wand as opposed to five, and taking that forward. This is a well-grounded individual as well. He's standing up for himself. Speaking he's able to articulate. So we maybe start with this kind of stuff at the beginning of the day, but then we can at some point pull it all together, get a good, get some good ideas, get some good insight. That's that lightning bolt, and stand up for and pick the one wand that we want to work forward with, and let those other wands, those other distractions, as and don't let appearances distract you from your one true purpose. This is also a very, and in that, he's also a very healing, he's a very healing figure as well. So, and that can be like a balm on yourself, is when, we pick one direction and we decide to go with it. And we don't really care. We're not paying attention to all this other nonsense. We're just moving forward and saying, almost putting blinders on. He's walking away. He's coming away. He's a white cobra, and he's walking away from this kind of dark background. He's kind of leaving it behind. It's like, whatever, I'm moving forward with this one ambition, and that's where I'm going. And so that, helps us understand a little more about these cards that came up at the bottom of the deck, which was the Four of Wands. Even though it's a step down from the Five, it's actually, coming up at the bottom of the deck, it's a far more organized situation here than this, right? You've got, it's kind of, even though it may look like a diamond in the rough a little bit, there's still really good formation to this. And it's moving towards this one point, this point of inspiration, this point of intuition. So also you're using your intuition combined with heart intelligence. And in that, the rainbow is a sign of hope, right? These rainbow colors, and you're crafting one direction. And I noticed that we have the number 2 here at the top. The number 2 here is a number of the heart, and of actually using your emotions, again, with that intuition, to move towards one fine point, rather than being in this kind of scattered, disorganized kind of place. So that's kind of the energy that we're working with. So you might start with this, but know that you can actually, once you kind of pull everything together, and I almost see a sense of, being from here and all over the place, and you're kind of pulling everything together with some of the artistry that's in this, to this one, this one very, leadership kind of situation. And again, both of these look like a far better picture than this very disparate, disconnected kind of thing. So the final card we'll pick out, which I didn't, pick out in advance because I just decided, like I said, to do this on the fly. But the final card I'll pick out is maybe one from the Animal Spirit deck. Again, from Kim Kranz. I love these. Her cards were great. We have the lizard card. The lizard totem. And I love, again, there's these rainbow colors that are coming in, signs of hope, a lot more colorful life than this sort of thing. He's got the colors going on in his cup, but, he's not even picking up his cup. It's not until you start to get more organized that you come into a more colorful life rather than the black and white. And you add your emotions in. That number 2, you start, you add your emotions and you harness them. You start to come into something that's more interesting and has more texture. And, you can look at that. Look at all the texture in this lizard. And lizards have an exciting life. And I think that's actually one of the things that, if I remember correctly, so instinctual, sensitive to the subtle dreamer. The lizard is an expert in the realm of sensory perception. As if it has a sixth sense, the lizard hears what is yet to be spoken and sees what is yet to manifest. Although this is an amazing gift, it can easily wear the lizard down. Big crowds, lots of travel, or overstimulation, right, will drain a lizard of their magical essence. This card is an indication to pull back from the bright lights in big city and return to the inner artist who's been whispering your name. When in balance, artistic, telepathic, spiritual. When out of balance, elusive, non-committal, or flaky. This guy. Artistic temperament, that's one of the attributes of the Father of Wands, by the way. Very artistic. Creative, very creative. Telepathic and spiritual. And then to bring into balance, a creative project. So, that might be, again, that divine inspiration, or something where you can really harness your creativity and move forward. So that's it for Friday, May 28th. I hope to do these a little more often as I can, and it's really glad to be nice to be back. Talk to you soon. Oh, and if you want a private reading with me, I'll leave the information, and I can give you that info. Thanks so much. Have a great day.